Hey everyone, Jared here, and today I'm going to talk about this series right here, Dragon Quest. As you guys know, I've got two playthroughs going on right now, one for 10, one for 11, and in the comments or on the chat for the Twitch of Dragon Quest 11, the Twitch stream, someone left a comment asking, hey Jared, how many games have been released in the Dragon Quest series that haven't come out in North America? And I was like, wow, that's actually a good question. And I started to think, and well, there's dozens and dozens and dozens of them. And so I was like, okay, well, where I am right now in this apartment still, I can't possibly show you guys all the games that have been released that have not been released in North America. So games that were released in Japan but not here. So I was like, okay, well, why don't I just focus on the Switch and the 3DS? I could also incorporate the PlayStation 4, but there's not as many. I'd have to incorporate things like Itatagi Street and things like that. So I was like, it's not that interesting. The big one is this guy right here, which this is Dragon Quest 11, obviously. This one will be coming to North America sometime this year. I've got my prediction saying that we're going to hear about this around March or April. They're going to talk about Dragon Quest 11 in North America on the PlayStation 4, and I have a feeling that we're going to get a direct talking about Dragon Quest 11 on the 3DS. And I have a feeling that also in March, to coincide with the first year anniversary of the Switch, that we're going to find out that the Switch version of Dragon Quest 11 is going to come out this year in Japan, but I don't think it's going to come out this year in North America, for the Switch anyway. Okay, so that sums up that. So this is the only one I'm going to really show for the PlayStation 4. Dragon Quest X is also available for the PlayStation 4, but yeah, that's, I mean, for the big ones, that's it. There isn't like 50,000 different side games unless you count Itatagi Street, and I think that might actually be it, but I really wanted to show you guys how many games have been released on the 3DS and on the Switch, because, well, right now we just got this bad boy, which again is, of course, on the PlayStation 4 as well, which is actually right over there. There's also Dragon Quest Heroes and things like that, now that I just think of it. So there you go. That's why I only focus on the Switch and on the 3DS, okay? So we're going to exclude everything else. There are a bunch of other games, like I just said, I just thought of. Okay, so I wanted to show you first for the Switch. So when the Switch launched, it actually launched with this game right here. And both of these games are available on the PlayStation 4. This is Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2. This is something that has been done in Japan for a long time, where they combine some of the games, particularly Dragon Quest 1 and 2. They slapped them together because Dragon Quest 1 is a really short game. You can finish it off like at your leisure in about 6 hours to 8 hours, something like that, if memory serves. So I thought this was really cool that they did this. Now, this had a retail price quite high. Somewhere like in the ballpark of, I think it was the equivalent of like $85, $90, something like that. So this is still quite expensive if you want to go ahead and pick this one up. You can pick it up on PlayAsia and sites like that. Actually, you can pick it up on Amazon Japan if you really want. The problem with this was they never really updated it. So if you put this in your Switch today, if you go out and buy it, there might be one update, but even that I'm not convinced. I believe that this was just a rush port, and then Square Enix was like, yeah, well, we got other stuff we're worrying about. They're like, whatever, don't worry about it. So it's not the best. Like, the graphics have been downgraded, the frame rate is really, and I can't believe that they never actually updated this to fix some of the problems, because as we've seen as the Switch has gone on, there are a lot of really powerful and beautiful looking games on the Switch, and it was disappointing how this actually turned out. So the other big one was this bad boy right here, Dragon Quest X, and its expansions have all come to this. This is the all-in-one package. This is actually just a hollow box. There's a code inside, but I thought it was cool that they gave you this so you could like slide it into your, you know, your collection or whatever. So that's why I didn't pick up the PlayStation 4 one, because, well, I knew that the IP block was still in effect. But with the Switch, I still have hope that one day they will remove the region lock for this because of the nature of the Switch. I still find it very, very silly that you have a system that the commercials show that you can go and play on airplanes and things like that, and yet the system itself, not system, sorry, the game itself is still region locked. I don't get that. Like, if I'm in Japan and I'm playing the game in handheld mode, but then I have a conference in Los Angeles, well, I can't continue my game. And I actually contacted Square Enix pretending to be a Japanese person, and they basically told me, oh, just pick up the 3DS one for when you go on vacation. You know, it's perfect. You can stream it and everything's fine. I was like, well, that's not a solution. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? So anyways, so these two, these two are Japanese exclusive for right now. Dragon Quest X, I'm pretty much willing to go on the record now. That's never coming. I keep saying this over and over again in the hopes that somehow, by some miracle, it gets released here, but I don't think so. At this particular point in time, I think it's like Phantasy Star Online 2, I just like, yeah, good luck. So these two never came out here, and by this point they're not going to. They're not going to release Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 in North America at this point. Dragon Quest Builders, though, very interesting is that if you look at the spine, it's actually been published by Nintendo, which I thought was very interesting, because a lot of the other side games that were released in North America were not published by Nintendo, but a lot of the mainline Dragon Quest games, particularly during the DS days, were. So this one is a phenomenal game. If you haven't played this one, pick this up. Now, interestingly enough, this was released in North America before Japan. I thought that was very, very, very interesting. As far as I know, like, the only time that's ever happened where a Dragon Quest game has actually come out in North America before Japan. So, really, really great one. We got Dragon Quest Builders 2 is coming out in the not too distant future. This is an excellent game. I'm streaming this, actually, so you can check that out if you're interested. So that's it. So we got three Dragon Quest games. We got two spin-offs and one mainline Dragon Quest game, and Dragon Quest XI is on its way at some particular point, but at the time of this recording, who knows when. I thought this was phenomenal for the platform being not even a year old at the time of this recording anyway. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Okay, so like I said again, we're going to skip over PlayStation 4 only because, well, we're actually doing not too bad, guys. We got this on the way. We got Dragon Quest Builders. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is going to come out here. We've got Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 were already released here. The only one, like I said, is the Itatagi Street, and that I don't really count too much. Okay, now, that's how many Dragon Quest games have been released on the 3DS, and we're going to go through these. So, as you can tell, wow, right? That's a lot of Dragon Quest games that have been released in Japan on the 3DS that have not made its way here. And if you don't know this, if you have a Nintendo 3DS, you can actually play the entire Dragon Quest series. All of them. From 1 to 11, they are all available to play on the 3DS. Because you have 4, 5, 6 that were released on the DS, which is, since it's backwards compatible, you can play it on the 3DS. 1, 2, 3 are available on the eShop. And what did I say? I said 4, 5, 6. Also 9, all those were for the DS. They're all compatible. Then 7 and 8 were released for the 3DS itself as remakes. 10 is available through the streaming service, and 11 was just released in Japan. That's a hell of a lot of Dragon Quest games. So, what are we going to do? So, we're going to start off with the Bizarro one, which is this guy right here. This is, it's Theater Rhythm Dragon Quest. I've never even opened this. It is a rhythm game. I got this for $5. $5. So, I never got around to it. So, very, very okay, cool. I don't know. I've never played it, but all I know is that it's like $5, so yeah, why not? We've got Slime Mori Mori 3 was released exclusively in Japan. This never made its way here, although we did get, I think it was Slime Mori Mori 2, if I'm not mistaken, which here was called Rocket Slime. Rocket Slime. So this is very, very import friendly by all means. If you guys are into it, it's an action platformer type of thing. You can go ahead and pick this up. Very, very good game and very, very import friendly. We also have the Dragon Quest Monster games. Now, none of these have been released outside of Japan, okay? None of them. So we have Terry's Wonderland, which is the original here. This was, again, it's a remake of the very first one. We have Dragon Quest Monsters 2, which, again, never released here. And then we started off with this, which was Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 3. So we did get on the DS Joker and Joker 2. We did not get Joker 2 Professional. But I picked this up and played the hell out of it because this, really unique art style in this one, but really fun game. Then they released Joker 3 Professional, which adds more monsters and a couple other features and areas for you to explore. And so there we go. We're up to how many games here? We're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games right there. So 6 games, whoop, all side quest sort of stuff. And then, well, you'll be happy to know, of course, that we ended up getting Dragon Quest 7. I took the North American versions. I have the Japanese versions, but I took the North American versions for the ones that we got. And you'll notice that this is still sealed. What's up with that? Well, it's still sealed because I have the digital version. When it comes to this particular series. And of course, Dragon Quest 8. So these two, you guys should be super, super, super thankful that these two actually made their way to North America, because these, I was almost certain that these were not going to get released in North America. And then, of course, we've got the Dragon Quest, the latest Dragon Quest 11. And this is a phenomenal game. This is a phenomenal game. Both of these are phenomenal games. Both of these, you guys really, really deserve it to yourself to pick up and play. If they both get released here, pick them up. And if the Switch one comes out, buy all 3, because each one caters to like a different group. This one, it was excellent for, you know, very, very, I don't want to say primitive, but more, you know, more primitive 3D plus 2D, and it was wicked how they combined the two elements together. And this one is just one of the nicest looking 3D RPGs ever made. So yeah, awesome. And that's pretty much it. So if I were to hold all of this crap up, this is essentially, look at this, that is essentially a buttload of Dragon Quest games. Now for the ones that have not been released here, let's remove the ones that have not been released here, okay? As of now, as of the time of this recording. So here are all the Dragon Quest games that have not been released in North America at the time of this recording, and here are the Dragon Quest games that have been released. So let's try this. All right, that huge pack, exclusive to Japan. These 3 made it out in North America. Which country prefers Dragon Quest? So yeah, I mean, there will be more, obviously. The 2 big, I hope the 2 big releases of or 3 rather, big releases of Dragon Quest 11 get released here. But I'm not convinced at this point. I know this one is going to get released in North America, but I'm not convinced that that the 3DS one is going to make its way here as of now. I've got my fingers crossed, but there's still no confirmation. So there you have it. It looks like the Dragon Quest Monster series is done in North America. I don't see us getting Joker 3. And since we never got the remakes of 1 and 2, I think it's done. I think that's it. I don't think we have a hope in hell of those ones coming here. Slime, Mori Mori, no way is that coming here. The, what is it, Theater Rhythm, or however it's pronounced, that's not going to come here either. So yeah, and this bad boy they're not gonna release this here, not now. It's been too long, and it's available on the PlayStation 4, and I don't even know how well it's doing on PS4, but I think it's doing well enough. And then there's of course Dragon Quest X, which there's no chance. Like, there's just no chance. We're on our 4th, well, 3rd. Yeah, we're in version 4 right now, so we're on the 3rd expansion right now. Like, no. It's not going to happen. And I'm currently, for me, I'm plowing my way through the 3rd, V3. So I'm plowing my way through the 2nd expansion. And right now I'm one of the only people on YouTube who, in English anyways, that has content showing the the second expansion for Dragon Quest X. It just, that says something, you know, and it's a shame, but I'm hoping, you know, you never know, one day. I mean, to be really honest, I never imagined that Dragon Quest VII on the 3DS would ever make its way to North America. I was pretty confident in 8, but I was almost certain 7 would never get released here. And it did, so yeah. So okay guys, that's it. This is a long video just talking a little bit about Dragon Quest. I didn't even go into memories or anything like that, just talking a little bit about the games that didn't get released here on 2 of our modern platforms. Kind of sad. So I'm sure by the time all's said and done, the Switch is going to probably have tons of Dragon Quest games that, just like the 3DS, that never came here, but we'll see. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. I'm going to actually go and stream some Dragon Quest XI later. So, looking forward to that. And even Dragon Quest Builders. We're on a Dragon Quest marathon. Alright everybody, take care. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.